Hello everybody and welcome to my comic review. I am Rainbow Red Panda and today I will be reviewing the comic Skin Trade by George R.R. Martin with some help by Daniel Abraham. If you are unfamiliar with these two, they also work on the Game of Thrones book series, which is a huge television series right now. I don't know if any of you guys watch that, but Game of Thrones is everywhere. Everyone watches Game of Thrones. So you should definitely start watching it if you don't already. It is based on books. George R.R. Martin is actually getting kind of up there in age and he has a few health problems. So hopefully he is able to finish that book series. But this review is not about the Game of Thrones. I could go on about it, but that's not what this is about. This is about something that he wrote in the late 80s called Skin Trade. It is a short novella that has now been turned into a comic book. Originally, this was featured in a book of short stories with other authors like Stephen King and things like that. So you might have already read this, but this is a comic version of it. So, I mean, it has pictures and I don't know. I mean, it just kind of brings your imagination to life to me. That's why I like comics. So I was really excited to get this. At first I thought that the front kind of was like a wolf and whatnot. It is wolfish. It's going to be about wolves. It doesn't necessarily tell you that exactly, but you can just kind of figure it out. But the front actually is a dog's like arm, and that's kind of sad. But I don't know. I like it. It follows the story of Willie, who they don't say exactly what he is, but I'm thinking that he might be I guess a werewolf. And then he has a friend named Joan who was handicapped and in a wheelchair and who was recently murdered by something. He suspects that his friends, I guess you would call them, he doesn't really like them, but they have some sort of connection to him. I'm guessing that they might also be these wolves, only they are more evil and non-caring about the human race. Their name is Stephen, and then his father Jonathan. I don't know, they have some sort of role in Joan's murder, but they don't really tell you like what's going on. Randy is I don't really know, she's like a private investigator type person. She is investigating this for Willie because he wants to know, what happened to Joan's body. It's been severely mangled and mutilated and whatnot, and he wants to know if it was something that was done by an animal, if it was something that was done by a human, like what was done to this body. Randy has her own kind of connection to this. Something happened whenever she was very young to her father. It was some sort of animal attack, and she's convinced that Joan's murder may be related to what happened to her father, even though police chiefs, coroners, like funeral people, everyone has told her, no, this was definitely done by a human, it was not animals. Stop trying to relate every murder that happens to what happened to your father. But she's still convinced that something isn't right here. She's trying to get all the answers that she can, both for her and for Willie, and it just kind of goes on from there. It kind of ends with Willie being in the same area as Stephen and Jonathan. He kind of goes into like his childhood experiences with these two. Stephen has some definite problems. He has some anger issues. He has a huge past of animal cruelty. It shows him like cutting the arm off of a poor defenseless dog, which is kind of sad for me. But it kind of shows that, and just kind of the relationship that he has with Jonathan. He kind of talks to Jonathan a little bit about what's going on with the whole Joan murder, and he assures them they have nothing to do with it, but I don't know, we'll see. I think it's going to turn into a lot darker thing. I've kind of read reviews on just the Skin Trade story in general, and it seems like it's going to get a lot more sinister and horror-ish from here. So I don't know, I look forward to see what's going on. It's not exactly what I expected from the comic, but I mean, with the title like Skin Trade, there's so many different ways that it can go that, I mean, you can't know just by looking at the title. So I don't know, I would suggest it to you guys. If you don't want to read the comic and you just want to know what happens, just go and read the short story. I mean, it's probably findable on the internet, and if not, I'm sure local libraries or digital sources would have it for you. But I don't know, I'm gonna stick with the comic for a little bit and see what happens. I'm not sure, I mean, it is a short story, so this will be a limited number of issues. It doesn't say how many, and I haven't read as to how many there are, but this is the first one. And I don't know, I like the cover, I like the art. The cover is kind of like the most like unusual thing about it. I mean, it is kind of well drawn. It's kind of like typical drawing style for comics nowadays. But I mean, that's about all that there is. It takes place in this town, and the town is kind of weird. Willie talks about it, and he always makes it seem like he owns the whole area, but I'm not sure if that's. I'm guessing that's not the case since there are people around and everything. But I don't know. He's very familiar with the town, with the surroundings. He knows like when he can be around people and when he cannot, which makes me also lead to the fact that he is probably a wolf of some sort, and that he just knows, not to do bad things. So it could be one of those kind of things. But this is definitely a wolf story of some sort. When it will kind of turn into that, I'm not sure. Maybe in the second or third issue that will become more prevalent. But if you guys are into wolf titles, this is one that you don't see in the first issue, but it does turn into it. So I don't know, that's all I really have to say about it. I would recommend it if you guys are into that kind of thing, or if you're just a fan of George R.R. Martin or Daniel Abraham. So I don't know, check it out. You can probably find it in your local comic book store. Like I said, I kind of got someone else's issue of this yesterday and I feel bad. So hopefully they will get it and they will read it and they will like it. So that's all I have for you guys for this review. I hope that you enjoy it and I will see you next time. Bye!